Welcome gamers! Something that's becoming quite popular in trophy hunting communities is to clean up the backlog. And also lots of trophy hunters seem to be wanting to try and increase their overall completion percentage as much as possible. Let's take a look at my completion stats. As you can see, I'm currently at 78.18% completion and I started the year on 77.4%. Now obviously if you complete every game that you've already started, then your completion percentage will naturally be very high, so long as you don't have huge amounts of unobtainable trophies due to server closures. However, if you have a big backlog of games and want to try and raise your completion percentage fast, then I have a great tip to help raise it in perhaps the most efficient way possible. Personally, I don't overly care about my completion percentage as such. I care more about trying to complete games that for one reason or another I've put down and not had a chance to go back to. However, for 2025 I decided to set myself an ultimate trophy hunters challenge, and one of the challenges is to increase my completion percentage by 10% over the year, and another was to complete 50 games to 100% from my current backlog of started games. So I need to try and reach 87.4% by the end of this year. If you're interested to find out more about this ultimate challenge I'm attempting, then you can find a link in the description for the challenge playlist, which explains the 36 different criteria I need to be able to meet this year. Anyway, back to trying to increase my own completion percentage by 10% and how I'm going to try and achieve this in the most efficient way possible. To start with, we have to understand how the completion percentage is actually calculated. It's not very complicated, however it's not quite as simple as you would expect. If you have a look at your trophy list on the PlayStation, you will see that Sony gives you a trophy level. Mine, as you can see, is 564, and I have a total of 11,624 trophies earned, broken down into platinum, gold, silver and bronze. Now if you go back and look at PSN profiles, you will see those same numbers at the top. However, if you hover over them, you can also see that each total has been assigned a points value, with my total being 401,490 points in total. If you now also hover over each of the different trophy types, you can see the points breakdown for each one. If you then divide the individual points total by the amount of that type of trophy you have earned, then you will see that platinums are worth 300 points, golds are worth 90 points, silvers are worth 30 points, and bronze are worth 15 points. So with platinums being worth so much more than the others, you would naturally think that simply earning the platinum would be the quickest way to increase your completion percentage. Well, not exactly. The reason is that when it comes to calculating your completion percentage, the platinum trophy is actually ignored, and this is just the additional reward for achieving 100%. So to work out your actual completion percentage, you simply add up the total points you have earned for all of your gold, silver and bronze trophies, divide it by the total amount of points for all the trophies possible in all the games you've started and earned at least one trophy on. This is because any game that is still at 0% completion with no trophies earned is actually completely ignored by the calculation, as PlayStation allows you to delete games from your trophy list if you've not earned any trophies for that game. So going back to looking at how best to raise your completion percentage as quick as possible, the key is to target any games on your backlog that have lots of unearned gold trophies. If you can then find games that have mainly gold and perhaps silver trophies left that would not take very long to complete, then these are the biggest priority, whereas games that can take a long time to complete and will only reward you with mainly bronze should probably be your lowest priority. Now looking at my own backlog, I've created a spreadsheet that shows every game I've currently played and earned a trophy on, and then by adding in all the available trophies for each game and then adding in which ones I've earned, it's a case of applying a very simple formula to confirm my completion percentage for each game. Now for my challenge, as I have to try to increase the completion percentage by 10% before the end of this year, I will now go down the list and add in all the outstanding trophies for the games I'll definitely be playing this year, as they are the ones I'm looking forward to completing the most, and then also look down the list to see which games have a large amount of gold trophies compared to ones that are very heavy on bronze. As an example, if I look down the list under the total unearned gold, we can see here that Songbird Symphony which I started during another challenge I was doing a couple of years ago, and then only earned 1 trophy, has 9 gold outstanding but no silver or bronze. So although it's not a game I would probably rush to go back and complete, it makes sense for my current challenge to target this one, as it will have a huge impact and raise the overall completion percentage by quite a lot for just one game. So I'm now going to go down this list and mark off all the games I will target until I see that my overall completion percentage has gone up enough to be able to complete the challenge. Now with the magic of editing, you don't have to actually watch me doing all that, so let's jump to after I've finished and see what it will look like. Well, I've now updated the sheet with all the games I think I will target, and that brings me nicely to about 87.8% completion, with my target being 87.4. I first went down and just marked off all the games I know I'll definitely be playing, as I've either already have plans in place for some of the co-op ones, like the Call of Duties where I play regularly on a weekly basis, and Aliens Fireteam Elite where I also play on a weekly basis, and others I'm just really excited to get back to playing. After that I targeted the games with more golds, and especially ones that should be fairly short games like Songbird Symphony. Now one last thing to note is that of course if you also start a game, then your completion percentage will initially drop until you manage to complete it. However, another thing to consider is that by starting and completing a new game, that will also slightly raise your overall completion percentage without even touching your backlog, as of course we're dealing with percentages, so you could also aim to look at starting and completing lots of games that have a very high overall points value. Games that get a lot of free DLC are examples of this, like Vampire Survivors, which is a total game point value of 5,340 points compared to the average point value of around 1,000 points per game. To show you what I mean by that, you can see here that the completion is 87.8%, but if we were to add in 2 new games and we put in say 2 more stacks of 36 Fragments of Midnight, giving another 22 gold trophies, you can see the completion percentage has gone up to 87.85%. I hope you enjoyed this insight into how I'm looking to raise my completion percentage by 10% during this year. A like and subscribe is greatly appreciated to really help me try and grow the channel. If you're interested to find out more about this Ultimate Trophy Hunters challenge that I'm doing, then you can click on the video just up here. And as mentioned at the beginning of the video, I will also put a link to the playlist in the description. Please take care and look after yourselves.